My name is John Large. I farm in County Tipperary in Ireland. I'm predominantly a mid-season lamb producer. We have 600 ewes. All the lambs are sold dead weight to a local wholesale butcher. We also have a few suckler cows that calve in the autumn, and they're Angus's and they're sold to the same butcher outlet.
When did you start using the Animax boluses?
2 years ago we gave them to some lambs. Why we started to use Animax bolus was lambs weren't thriving after they were weaned, and we find it slow to finish them, and we were having to go in with meals to the lambs to finish them. The lambs had already been dosed for worms and still they were kind of soft or scoury almost. 2 years ago we used Animax boluses on maybe half the lambs, just to see how it would go. Their thrive was a lot better. We were able to kill lambs off of grass. Our aim is to kill our lambs off of grass or forage crops without meal. That's the plan, to keep the costs down. And Animax boluses seem to be helping us do that. That's why I've used them.
And I'm guessing that if you've been able to achieve that, then your profit's going to be greater, isn't it?
Well, your costs aren't going to be as high, so the higher your costs are, the lower your profit is. So definitely, some of our lambs are fed on forage crops which are sowed into ground that's been reseeded. We kind of mix a forage crop through the grass seeds, and the lambs are put onto that. And we noticed, once we used the Animax boluses, even the kill out off of that improved. And before we gave them the Animax bolus as well, we were having problems with lambs with sore ears and maybe getting something like orf, and it seems to be some kind of a mineral tied up in the forage crop. It's growing so fast. But once we used Animax boluses last year in particular, we had no problem with anything like that. We gave Animax boluses last year then, when it came to the ewes. We gave them to half the weaker, the thinner half the ewes before they went to the ram. And our lambing percentage was up by maybe 0.1 or 0.2 in those ewes in particular. Even the scan results were better when they started to lamb. There was ewes with 3 that were only scanned for 2. I put that down again to the bolus. If you weren't using a bolus, you'd be using a drench probably, and that would probably have to be repeated 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. Or if you go back to using just maybe straight cobalt, that should be put in every 2 weeks.
You've got some lambs here on a green crop. What are they feeding on?
Tyfon. The technical explanation is it's a cross between a Chinese cabbage and a turnip. It grows with just leaves and a bulb underneath, and if you eat off the leaves, don't damage the bulb while they're eating it if you can, and move them on, and it'll regrow for 3 times.
And why is it important that the lambs feeding on the tyfon are bolused for trace elements?
Because of the rapid growth of the forage crop, and it doesn't carry enough minerals. The lamb is obviously deficient in something when he's eating the leaves off of this, and it's probably grows so fast that it's not able to pick up enough minerals.
You've also got a group of cattle here, suckler cows. Tell me about them.
We have 30 autumn calf and suckler cows. The mothers are predominantly Angus or Limousin cross out of Frisian cows, and they're crossed by an Aberdeen Angus bull. They're in calf to an Aberdeen Angus bull. We get a bonus because they're Angus's. They're easy care. They're beside the house when they calve. Generally there's very little problems with them. They have plenty of milk and the calves are lively. The cows receive Animax all-sure boluses about a month before they calve, and that's their mineral done for the year. That's what they get. And the calves will get 1 mineral bolus next spring when they're going out of the shed.
What system would they have been on previously?
They were getting an injection of selenium, 2 copper boluses and iodine in the water. It worked. I'm not going to say it didn't work, but you were never finished with it. The question was always who put the iodine in the water last. So this way it's a lot easier. I know exactly what's in them, whereas before I wasn't 100% sure. We've no problems with cows calving. We've no problems with calves, weak at birth or anything like that, or cows retaining after birth, and that's why I use them.